What is up, everybody? Welcome to Sooner Surge Live. Tuesday night, 9:30. Thanks for joining me. Jeremy will be on here a little bit later. It's Tuesday night. You guys know the drill. He'll be late, but he'll be here. Thanks for joining me tonight. Lots to talk about as OU gets ready for South Carolina in a game that you really need to flip the script and turn things around. You had the media today. You had Ben Arbuckle talking to the media. You had Brent Venables, which if anybody saw the press conference or you're on Twitter, you know the statement that Brent Venables made is all over Twitter with Big 12 conference losing their mind, which I think is so funny. If anybody didn't hear it or see it, I mean, I'll read you the statement that Brent Venables said today at the press conference. And I don't remember what the question was really, but he said, he says, I'm playing the SEC and it being a one-possession league. He was asked about one-possession games and stuff, and he says, this isn't the old Big 12 days where Oklahoma destroys everybody every single week except one game of the year. Well, I think it's kind of funny because Oklahoma did pretty much destroy everybody in the Big 12 for however many years. They won 14 Big 12 championships. The next closest was Texas with 4. Yeah, Brent Venables was only there 2 years, and he did lose, 8 games. I get that. But Brent wasn't talking about Brent. He was talking about in general over the last however many years of the Big 12 with that OU, you had Texas, and then you had a lot of other teams that OU flat out dominated. So it's not that way anymore. It's not that way anymore, not in the SEC. And I can really appreciate both. I can appreciate Brent Venables for saying it because it's true about Oklahoma dominating the Big 12. And I think Caden McFarland said this tonight, and I agree with him. Caden McFarland said, it's like, of course, the Big 12, they got kind of left there when OU and Texas went to SEC. Of course, they're going to say stuff and come at it. It's kind of entertaining both ways. I don't really care. OU dominated the Big 12. Big 12's mad that OU left. Whatever. It is what it is. A little entertainment of the day. What's up, everybody? Hope you're doing good. That's kind of the main thing that's been blowing up from the press conference. I took a lot of other things from the press conference, guys. I mean, I tell you, and we'll talk about this a lot when Jeremy gets on here, I'm sure, but a lot of questions about the running back room. I like George Stoya asked who makes the decision of what running back plays. Ben Arbuckle said they have a meeting every Thursday. They go over plays. They go over situations, blah, 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 on that, who's going to play. But what is on your mind? What do you want to talk about? I'm here for whatever. Hey, we're going to open up phone lines later. And I tell you, if it's anything like last night, we don't know what you're going to get because last night was an interesting night of callers. I will just say that. We got off the live show last night and got right on a phone call and was kind of talking about some of the stuff. It was kind of funny. Mateer behind the mic more than DeMarco's not going to be on the mic. I just don't. Anybody that thinks DeMarco Murray, Bill Beatenbow, Emmett Jones, Joe John Finley is going to be on a microphone during the season, it ain't going to happen. That happens before the season. You get those chances, but not during the season. You're just not going to get that. Is anyone tired of the coach speak? Yes, I am. I'm very tired. You know what I thought was interesting today? I thought it was interesting that Ben Arbuckle was asked about Javonte Barnes, and he answered the question as well, just trying to get him in there, just haven't had the situations or whatever. Said nothing about him injuring a hamstring or something warming up. And then Brent Venables is asked about it, and he's talking about he got injured in warmups. It was kind of weird. I don't know the whole situation, to be honest. I really, the running back room, guys, it's a freaking mystery. I don't know. Does anybody listen to the radio? Does anybody listen to Sports Animal at all? Kel Gundy's on there, and he was on there this morning, and I agree with what Kel Gundy said 1,000,000%. He was pretty much asked about the running back room. He said, if I was the running back coach, Torrey Blaylock would be my bell cow running back. Torrey Blaylock, if we had 30 carries a game, Torrey Blaylock would get 25 to 26. The only time he's coming out is when he needs a drink of water. Yet every week it's different. Every week it's different. Who's going to be? Who's it going to be? It's crazy stuff. I don't know. I don't think we all know who it's going to be this weekend, do we? At running back. Amazing Traber. Yeah. Well, and they're not the only two. I'm sure there's a lot of people saying that. I mean, would anyone disagree by what they've watched this year at running back that Torrey Blaylock's the best running back? No, I think most people would agree that he's the best they got. Well, okay, but Chris, I 3 down back, and then you bring somebody on 3rd down or whatever. But the rotation room that they have right now is just, I don't understand it. So I don't know how any running back can get in a rhythm in that offense. I have missed several shows. I was the one that said it in a video over 2 weeks ago that I thought Barton will, and you could be right. I don't know. I mean, you're hearing rumors and rumblings of it. Okay, now 918 brings up an interesting point, saying he has been given the most opportunity. But 918, that's what I'm saying. Based off what we've seen with our eyes, he's the best. That's all I can base it on. I can't base it off practice. I don't go to practice. X-Rob, if X-Rob's better, they're not playing him. But if he's better, he's better. But as a fan, I don't know that, because all I can see is the few plays X-Rob gets in, or the few plays Ott gets in, or the few plays other guys get in. And that's all you can base it on as a fan. Claire says it's obvious X-Rob, but it's not. Because, I mean, he might be. I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just saying what I've watched in the game, he hasn't got the chance. Boomer, what's up, Boomer Sooner? Tatum's been hurt. Brent talked about that today. Been snake bit a little bit with some of the injuries. Hey, I'm going to bring up something. Yeah, Jeremy thinks Ott's the best. We know that. I'm going to bring up something because I did a little digging today. I did a little research for this show. But I want to throw it out there to you guys in the chat, because I would love to know, first off, your answer to these questions that I'm getting ready to ask, okay? And, yeah, he hasn't been listed on the injury reports. That's exactly right. You're right. So answer these questions I'm getting ready to ask in the chat, okay? Since Brent Venables got there, so that's Lebby, Seth Luttrell, and now Ben Arbuckle. And here's the question. Question number one. Who's the best running back that they've had that was recruited in the Brent Venables era? That's question one. Best one. In your opinion, the best running back they've had that was recruited in the Brent Venables era. So that would be DeMarco Murray as a running back coach. He got to OU in 2020, a little bit earlier than Brent. But Sawchuk, I see Sawchuk. Barnes. X-Rob was a 3-star, but are you saying he might be the best back they have? Gray was a transfer. So the thing with Gray is he transferred in, but I guess, I mean, and Tawee Walker, I mean, you get the point. And I think if you were to look at all the backs they've had at Oklahoma in the Brent Venables era, if you would say, let's just even forget recruiting or transfers or whatever, in my opinion, the best running back, not I'm specific talking about the best running back that they've had on that campus in the Brent Venables era, I would say would be Tawee Walker. Okay? Tawee Walker, by the way, everybody, is still playing college football, but not at Oklahoma. Dalen Smothers, not at Oklahoma. Caleb Hicks, not at Oklahoma. Gavin Sawchuk, not at Oklahoma. Do we need to go down the list? Ramonde was 2021, I believe, or 2020. So the point being, they've had a lot of running backs at Oklahoma. But a lot of them aren't there anymore. That's a problem. The University of Oklahoma can't keep running backs, can't develop running backs. I mean, why is Tawee Walker not still at Oklahoma? Somebody please tell me. Mess that up. They screwed that up. I mean, you could go down the list. Okay, now I'm going to move on. I'm done with running backs. Okay, I'm done with running backs. Okay, done with it. Let's move it to the side. Now I'm going to ask you another question. Same question, but at receiver. Okay, and you cannot count Marvin Mims because Marvin Mims was a Lincoln Riley guy. I'm not counting Marvin Mims in this. Can't count Marvin Mims. Best receiver at Oklahoma since 2021 or 2 when Brent Venables got there. And I'll wait because I've done the research and I've looked it up. Okay. And I'm interested to see what you guys say in the chat. Can't count Marvin Mims. I think I know what most people are going to say. And it's sad that that's probably it. And it is. And the courts has already put it out there. The best wide receiver you've had at Oklahoma is Drake Stoops, which also was not a recruit from the Brent Venables era. So you can't really count him, really. But so who's the best receiver? Are we really going to say Jalil Farouk, which also he did come under Riley because he came with Caleb Williams era. I mean, you know what's funny is this chat. You can't even think of names. That's how bad it is at wide receiver. Jaden Gibson, listen, Jaden Gibson, if he was healthy, but he's only played what, 20 snaps at Oklahoma? So Jaden Gibson, Nick Anderson transferred and went to LSU. Is he doing anything there? I mean, somebody, who would you say? We're going to open the phone lines here in a little bit. It's not good. Okay. Thanks for the depressing start to the show, Jay. Hey, listen, I had time today. And then we don't even want to move to the next one. You got the good, the bad. That's the good and the bad. Let's move to the ugly. Let's go to tight end room. Let's go to tight end room, guys. Do we want to go there? No, I don't think we do. Let's move away from it, okay? The point being, we could go O-line too. The point being this. Offensive side of the ball since 2022, when Brent Venables came in, you had Levy, you had Seth Luttrell, now you got Arbuckle. Talent-wise, offensively, guys, they're not up to SEC speed. When you look at skill, wide receivers. Deion Burks transferred in, but he hasn't. Would you say he produced like you thought he would? And is that a talent issue? This is my question. Is this a talent issue at Oklahoma, or is it a development and is it a coaching issue on the offensive side of the ball? Because personally, I think Tawee Walker's pretty good back, guys. Personally, I think if you bet Deion Burks maybe somewhere else, he might be tearing it up. I don't know that. I'm just saying, like, at some point we got to look at, and it could be both, Chris, but we got to look at it, and we got to say, okay, common denominators in these situations, what are they? It's just O-line's another area too. So. Hang on a second. Sorry, I had a garage opening, so didn't want to be so loud. But all right, let's move on from this. I just wanted to bring it up because I did look it up today and was kind of rehashing some of the position groups, and it's just not good, guys. It hasn't been good for 3 years on the offensive side of the ball. Move Kevin Wilson to tight end. Well, Jackson, hey, you know what? Hey, I don't know. He's on the staff. Jackson. He's on the staff right now. Why do you need to move him? He's there. Go coach tight ends, help them out. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with usernames. Does anybody understand this? Why is it showing that instead of real names? I'm confused by that. Does this happen on the other live shows, or is this just this live show? Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. I don't get it. All right. Let's move on. We're going to open up phone lines. I'm going to open them up in a minute probably for you guys. But okay, now somebody says just this chat room. It's normal. Okay, I'm going to see if I can figure out what's going on then, Kyle. Thanks for letting me know. I will see if it's an issue on something we can fix. Okay. So let me go and open the phone lines for you guys. Let me drop it in here. Right here for you. Sorry, by myself, trying to run comments, show, and everything by myself. So doing the best I can here. There it is right there. Go ahead and there it is right there. I'm going to pin it for you guys. And so there you go. And we already got a caller. Hang on 1 second, guys. Hang on 1 second. Let me do something real quick. All right, let's get to Platone. What's up, Platone?
Hey Jay, how are you doing?
Doing all right, man. You?
I'm good. I'm good. I was out of all our issues, I think the most pressing issue out of all of our problems is the offensive line and their inability to run block. So here's the way I look at it. I would compare it to a school situation. Let me throw a school analogy at you. Let's say you have students, you're trying to teach them like math class, you're trying to teach them calculus, and you figure out, hey, none of my students can get calculus. They're all failing the class. You got a couple options. You can try to force feed them calculus, or you back off a little bit. It's okay, well, let's back down to trigonometry, algebra. Let's start that. Let's start with the basics first and build up. And I think that's what they need to do the offensive line. I think how many hours a week do we get allowed in practice? Is it like 20 hours a week or something like that?
Something like that.
Um, I think that what should happen, in my opinion, is that Bean and Bo and the offensive coaches, they pull out the offensive line and they hammer them on basic run blocking techniques, which they should already know that, but apparently they don't know it because it's not showing up on the field. I think you've got to focus on that first before you can try to put in fancy schemes or stuff like that. Because if they can't do the basic stuff, they're not going to they're not going to be able to pull off anything more complicated than that. And so I just go back to the basics. And a lot of people think, well, that's too complicated. You can't change that in the season. But Texas did in one half. They changed their run blocking and they blocked a lot better in the second half. So I refuse to accept the narrative that, oh, this takes a whole off season to do that. You can't do that in the season. And I don't agree with that. Are they going to turn into elite run blockers? No, but they gotta work on it. I would hammer that in practice. Put them on those sled drills or whatever it takes to get them to fire off the ball. Are they going to be able to push around elite defensive lines? No, but they got to do something. I feel like it went now if they want to run out of four wide sets and do more spread running concepts, I think that would be fine. But regardless, they need to go back to the basics on that and just teach these guys to fire off the ball because apparently they don't know how to do it. So
yeah. Hey, thanks, Platone. Thanks for the call. And hey, Kel Gunny similar said that today, basically something like that. Like figure out the three things you can do on the offensive line in the run game and figure those three things out and do them over and over again. So make it simple. Let's get to Jackson. What's going on, Jackson?
What's up? Hey, so just to go off of what was said, I think a major issue with the offense has been the continuity of the offense. And I think it all starts on the offensive line is I'm not sure I could name a time in the last 2 years for sure, maybe even the last three, where Bill Bedenbow has had the same starting offensive line for multiple weeks without somebody. Either they get hurt or they get benched because they're performing bad. And to me now, I think that's the way the offensive line. Like I think that's a major issue that this offense has. Is the offensive line, like it's almost like if you're to match up two high school teams that where you have a bunch of kids who have played for 10 years together on the same team, or a bunch of good a bunch of good kids on a team that all played AAU for a summer. And it's like up front with the offensive line, you have to have the continuity and the chemistry in order to be a good offensive line.
But
And
where does that fall?
what do you mean?
Who does that fall on, Jackson?
The injuries aren't Bill Bedenbaugh's fault.
It's not all injuries.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, I'm saying that due to have been hurt, and that's been a part of the issue why they've sucked. Now, the development for some guys hasn't been that great either, but I'm saying the injuries has not helped the
Put
situation
somebody on
with the offensive line.
pancake somebody on the ground, and you're not going to get an ankle rolled up on you.
Yeah, well,
You have
I
them on the
mean,
ground. If you have them on the ground, you're not going to get rolled up on. I mean,
yeah, I know, but Jay, I'm trying to say that it's important for an offensive line to have a bunch of guys that are healthy and able to play for multiple weeks together to figure out the chemistry, because it's not just a like wide receiver where you can throw out three dudes and just they can all go out there and make plays.
okay,
Offensive
but
line is
listen.
so much different.
But listen, I also think it's. I understand the injuries, and I see somebody saying Taylor and Sexton that they've been injured. But let's not forget, and you're one of them, Jackson, and you were one of them, and Jeremy. And there were a lot of people thought that Josh Bates was going to be the next great center in Oklahoma. Josh Bates isn't on OU's team anymore. Why? They couldn't develop him. He left. I mean, what happened to Josh Bates in this all-world center they were going to have? Do you remember when he was recruited? He was like the next. I mean,
He was the number one center in the country, dude.
He's at SMU now.
Yeah.
Well, you could go down the list with guys, Jackson.
Savion Bird, dude. Everyone thought he was going to be
Bird, another one. I mean, you could go down the list.
Yes. Hey, and hear me out. I'm not saying that Bill Bedenbaugh is innocent, because he deserves a lot of fault for how bad the offensive line has been. And I know I don't get why the heck they can't execute the most simple stuff in the run game. I don't understand that, because some of the things that they're doing, Jay, I'm sorry, but I mean, it's not that complicated. The average fan can see this is what you're supposed to do, and they can't even do it right. And to me, it's frustrating, and they just flat out suck at back right now. I mean, they flat out suck at running back.
Is it a running back issue or is it an O-line issue?
I think it's both. But Jaden Ott, that's a waste of $1 million.
Well, I don't know what they paid him, Jackson. I'm not in the room to know how much they paid a guy. But
well, yeah,
it's just. I mean, if that's what you're saying, he's not performing on the field. Yeah, it's waste. He's not doing anything.
I mean,
So,
Javonte Barnes, he hasn't been developed at all. He's gotten worse since his freshman year. Saltchuk, he got worse, and you see what he's doing now at Florida State.
I'm glad you brought up Saltchuk and Barnes. And hey, thanks for the call, Jackson. That's a good point. I'm glad you transitioned to this, but I got something to say about that. Thanks, Jackson. Do you remember Saltchuk and Barnes? And I need to get to Greg. Do you remember when it was that everyone said, "Wow, Saltchuk and Barnes, those two guys, the next year are going to be amazing"? It was the Cheez-It Bowl or whatever. But do you know who was calling plays in that game? I mean, let's get to Greg. What's up, Greg?
Hey, man. I don't know. I got a couple points, but first thing, it's just the complete lack of aggression and physicality with the offensive line. It's always like they're playing on their heels. It's like the ball snaps and they immediately are like just trying to kind of guard the quarterback as opposed to just like taking it to the defensive line. It's like, be aggressive a little bit, push back. Don't just immediately go back to your heels. I don't know. Drive someone forward. That's what I say.
That's the name of the game in O-line.
But they're not doing that. Again, you're only helping the defensive line if your first step is back too often and you're just kind of, just shuffling back towards the quarterback. It only makes their job easier. But anyways, my real thought here is what we have a problem with the personnel, coaches, and players, or is it just an institutional problem? I mean, think of all these names: Brent Venables, Arbuckle, Jackson Arnold, Tatum, Ott, Levy. All those guys, before they came to Oklahoma, were the cream of the crop. Brent Venables probably could have got a job as the head coach at half of the programs in college football. Same with Arbuckle. Jackson Arnold was recruited by nearly every team in the country. Same with Ott and all these guys. But for whatever reason, when they come here to Oklahoma, they're lackluster and they don't perform. So is it just, are we striking out on all these people, or is it something maybe higher within the institution that is not allowing these guys to be their best?
I don't think it's institution. I think it's one of two things. To me, when you have situations like this and you're not putting, and the reason I brought up the whole talent on running back and wide receivers is go look in the NFL offensively and look how many players OU has in there post Lincoln Riley. I'm talking about offense. Post Lincoln Riley, how many players in the NFL? I mean, can you think of any?
Very few.
I mean,
They
have a few O linemen, but I think they might have been Carrier. I mean, Guyton was not a Riley guy. I mean, so to me, when you have that, it's either A, that the talent wasn't there when they recruit. It's not a good enough talent. That's one problem. It could be. Who knows? B, coaching. They're not developing or coaching guys up. I mean, what else could it be? I don't think institutions. I don't think it would be an institution. I think it's either A, they're not as good as they thought, or B, they can't coach them and develop them. But the weird thing to me about the talent, though, Greg, is when you look at some of these guys in high school, aka Tatum, everybody and their dog wanted him. So why isn't he performing at OU? To me, that leans like that's a coaching issue.
And I agree. And we've seen the issues with the coaching, at least for 4 seasons now. I mean, it's been as bad as since the day Brent Venables rode into town. So, I mean, at some point you got to think these coaches are showing us who they are. Why don't we believe them at this point? And what's it going to take before we make some move? Now, I've always said I want to win with the guys we have, but if it's not working, what are we going to do? Do we suddenly think DeMarco or Biedenbow is going to produce a better offensive line or better running backs or schemes than what they've been producing the last 4 years? I don't think so. I mean, we've seen what they can do and what they've done. When is enough? I don't know,
Yeah, you're right. Hey, that's the definition of insanity if you kept doing the same thing over and over. They got to change it this week. I saw somebody's comment. BV's beating 2 SEC teams, Auburn and Bama. Weekend is a must. It's a must win this weekend. I would agree.
I mean, we've got to turn it around fast or we're going to be Kentucky football real quick. And it's going to stay like that if we don't change the trajectory now. Because
don't bring up Kentucky football, please.
I mean, I don't. But here's the thing, though. We are kind of cementing, maybe a legacy is not the right word, but cementing who we are by just continuing over and over again to do the same things. I mean, at some point, like the new Nebraska, you've heard that a whole bunch. Like, we're kind of turning into that if we don't start to change our mentality, put some wins in the column. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't articulate it very well, but that's my thought, I guess. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I understand what you're saying. I get you. Hey, thanks, man.
Appreciate
you, Greg. Hey, I want to get to this comment. Mess. Listen, I don't think there's anybody on here in the chat or anywhere talking about OU's defense being bad. Brent Venables, since he got to Oklahoma, did what he said he was going to do on defense, guys. He flipped the script. This defense is legit. They've been legit the last few years. He turned it on its head. He's got talent. He's developing. Bates and Chavis are getting dudes, and they're developing dudes. That's not the issue. The issue is the offense, and it's been the offense in about every loss they've had under Brent Venables. I mean, go back to the Kansas loss in 2023. They threw the ball 9 times in that game. It was an offensive issue, okay? So it's an offensive issue. It's not a BV coach defense that we're talking about. We're talking about offense, and this is very similar. Guys, I mean, everybody on here is OU fans, most of you. Do you remember the Lincoln Riley days? A lot of people were bashing coaches on the defensive side of the ball. A lot of people, me included. I said, get rid of Grinch, get rid of some of these guys on defense. So why is it now that people aren't going to do that about? I mean, the offense has been the same for 3 years as far as coaching staff, other than the OC. And I'm just not seeing a whole lot of guys from their freshman year to when they're juniors bowing up line being like a freaking stud. I mean, name one, please. Somebody call and talk to me. Somebody put it in the chat. Give me a name of a guy on the offensive side of the ball from their freshman to junior, senior years in the last 3 years that you say made giant leaps. Please, I'm here for the next 30 minutes. Giant leaps. Who would you say? And I'm trying to think of one. All right, now maybe I can't. But I'm racking my brain and not thinking of one right now. So if you got one, please hit me up. You know, on the O-line, I think the guy that probably made the most jump in Brent Venables' time was a transfer, and that was McCade Matauer from year 1 to year 2 at Oklahoma. I think he made pretty good leap. But other than that, I'm not talking defensive side of the ball. I am not even mentioning defense. I'm talking purely offense, and I'm talking offensive players. That's all I'm talking about. I'm waiting. Yeah, we already mentioned Guyton earlier. But I'm just saying, like, that's the only one. I mean, name a tight end, name a wide receiver, name a running back. At Oklahoma, not saying they transferred out and did something. I'm saying at Oklahoma, they're still there and they're performing. Ron, you put this in the chat like literally 45 or 50 times. Oh, what are you listening to on this live show that has come out of my mouth that said I think the OU offensive coaching staff has been good, dude? Like, don't know what you're waiting on there. Been pretty obvious. The O offensive staff has not been good, okay? And I think possibly, guys, you could literally change OC. You know, we're in year – hang on a second. Let me get Jeremy on here. I think Jeremy's here. You could literally this is year 4 of Brent Venables, and there's been 3 offensive coordinators. Somebody put in there about stability earlier, and I'm with you, but I don't think it matters. You can keep changing the OC. If you can't get players and developing in the offensive positions, nothing's going to change offensively, in my opinion. So it's either A, you don't have the players and you're not recruiting well, which is on the coaching, or B, you can't develop players and get them in the right positions to perform, and that's also coaching on the offensive side of the ball. What's up, Jay?
Add another one in there, Jay.
What's that?
You can say it's A, there's been 3 coordinators in whatever period of time. B, you need better players to run the scheme. Or 3, C, you can't develop it. I got an answer. D, all of the above.
Well, I know.
When you take a test and there's a letter D that says all of the above, pick that answer. That's always the answer.
Well, and we got another caller here we'll get to, but hey, Joe, I know Joe Russell I think is mad at me because I've been pretty negative since this started, but I did some research. I was talking about different players in the offensive side of the ball. We'll get back to that in a minute, but let's get to.
I got to get over in this Walmart parking lot. We got True Sooner on. I got to get my camera on for this.
What's up, True?
Well, that was quick.
What was quick?
I just logged in. I thought there was a lot of people lining up to talk to you.
Well, there was 3 earlier and they're already off, so it's lucky you, man.
Lucky me. I like that.
What's up?
Do y'all remember Paul Migliazzo, Joe Bowden, Daryl Reed, Troy Johnson? Y'all remember any of those guys?
Joe Bowden, yeah.
Yeah, go online and go to YouTube, brother. I mean, I'm gonna bring this up. I'm gonna bring this up the rest of the time I can get on this week and just name off names, let y'all know who's on YouTube and watch their highlights and that 5-2 defense Gary Gibbs displayed. And I don't want to bash anybody about, okay, yes, your number this and your top 5 or top 10 in this, your top 10 and top 5 in this. All I can tell you, when you look at the talent and how they hit and how they were always there, and it wasn't these, it wasn't, yes, it was some bringing all 11. I get all that. But when you seen them out there making a play, those guys were individually just planting people.
Are we talking about
Wait,
defense?
And that was just the defense. Now I'm gonna talk about the offensive line.
There we go.
I'm gonna talk about the offensive line because, again, if your mentality is we're gonna bring in we can't establish a, how you say it, a philosophy of, we can't display a philosophy of who we're gonna be. The first thing we're gonna be is we're gonna get a quarterback. Only way we can get that quarterback is to hire their offensive coordinator. Let's worry about those two guys in instilling what they're going to be. We can't concern ourselves about an identity of physical offensive line because we're too worried about bringing in a quarterback and making sure their offense is run right. Their offensive coordinator is implementing what he's going to do for their quarterback. It's a quarterback-oriented offense. Their identity, sadly, I'm sorry, it has been quarterback, making sure they're set, and then we'll put the package in week to week and whatnot as the season goes along. But where is the offensive line in all this? That's where football starts. Oklahoma has lost.
True. Where was the offensive line last year?
Wasn't there last year either. What I'm saying is we've had quarterback-oriented offenses. We need to get away from that and start with just offensive line and develop your team. Develop your team from that and let everything else spread out. But the thing about it is, what can Venables sell? He wasn't at Oklahoma when Lincoln Riley, those were his guys that are starting in the NFL. Those were his guys on the offensive line that are doing well.
Yeah.
So Venables can't say, you know what? Go to Clemson and say, okay, what offensive lineman is doing well from Clemson in the NFL right now as a star? I'd even say find me a linebacker from Clemson that's doing well in offense. Players don't care about put this way, it's not the number one thing what you did at your alma mater or where you coached. It's how many people are you putting in the NFL that a player can look and say, hey, I got a player that I coached. Look at the plays he's making on the NFL week to week or every several weeks, and look at the money. Look at the salary that he's gaining now from his plays in the NFL. I don't see any Venables guys. I'm sorry. I mean, what he did with Clemson was great. They were college players, great recruits. But I'm always in the NFL looking at all those highlights and whatnot. I'm not seeing those guys from the NFL like you see Lincoln Riley's guys. Lincoln Riley's guys are just all littered all over the place.
Hey, are you talking about quarterbacks?
No, I'm talking about running backs, Joe Mixons, guys like that. NFL, you got the Denver Broncos, wide receiver Marvin Mims.
Yeah.
These guys, I mean, I'm just saying, brother. Oh, and let's not forget CeeDee Lamb. He can always, and then he can point to. I mean, I'm just saying. Look at USC's recruiting. I mean, they got a freshman defensive end that I would wish for at Oklahoma.
Dude, hey, True, the one look, I can agree with you a lot of it.
Jeremy, you sound like awful garbage. Can't hear a word you're saying, bro. Jeez. You could sound like True did the other night on the phone. hey, anything else, True? I mean, I agree with you on the NFL. You got to get better offensively and start putting guys in the NFL.
Well, I mean, also, what we're doing, man, with this wide gap, what do you call it? The offensive line,
the split.
No, it's called something where you leverage. We're a leverage offensive line. We're not a man-on-man offensive line. We need to get away from that. I know it works well. I know it works well for what the spread is and everything, but that's part of the problem. We have got to have an identity. And you look at the top programs, most of them are a physical lineup, man-on-man type of program. I know I hate to say this because I'm not trying to be flavor of the month. I haven't looked at any of Indiana Hoosiers games at all. But for what kind of talent they put out there, those guys do it, and they do it in such a squared away way.
I agree with you. They don't have the most talent,
and they don't beat them. They don't beat themselves. They for the most part. I mean, if you're just more talented than they are, sometimes you're going to have a problem. Notre Dame was able to get on top of them in that game last year. Ohio State just had much more talent than Indiana, but I have a feeling Indiana's going to have something for Ohio State this year when they play. I really do. I think they can do something against Ohio State. Ohio State's got a freshman quarterback. Nevertheless, it's not talking about Ohio State, but our offensive line and the way we run is just not. I don't see any kind of, and I haven't seen this for a while, where we line up and we can just get after people, and that starts with. We're looking at some of the busts that we've had on the offensive line. I can't remember all the 4 and 5 stars that are no longer there, but there are 3 or 4 at least that were on the 4 or 5 level that just never panned out, and that starts with Beadenbow. I'm sorry. At the end of the day, offensive line, that's your bread and butter. That's where your team is made. And Oklahoma's gotten away from that. We've gotten so quarterback oriented and saying, let's just get ourselves an experienced quarterback, bring a system in, and we can run Lincoln Riley's offense. It doesn't work like that. You got to have certain things in place. And even Lincoln Riley found that out trying to go to USC. Yeah, he said, well, I got my quarterback, but we don't run the ball. We're not going to be physical. We're going to get ate up. Remember, Utah went 2 games in a row in their first season and just completely whipped USC up and down the field in their home stadium, and then they took it to the playoff. I mean, they took it to the championship game and whipped them there too.
Yeah. Hey, I most part I agree with you on some of that stuff, but Brent Venables has plenty of defensive players in the NFL all over the place. So,
okay, I hear you, brother. I want you to do some research, and I don't want to focus too much on that. But if I don't hear their names being called as making plays, then I don't care. I don't care if they're in the NFL. If you're not making plays week to week.
Okay, true. Right now, I want you to tell me, name 5 players from Brent Venables' era at Clemson.
Okay. The Williams guy from who's at Michigan right now. Their defensive lineman. He was at Clemson. I mean, he was at Clemson.
Yeah.
The wide receiver who
I'm talking defense. Brent Venables guys.
Oh, I can't name off names. Right. I mean, I can but I haven't focused on it.
How would you?
And now, if you want me to focus on it, I can do some research and get back to you. No problem.
Hey, let's do it. Hey, I got to go because I got to let Jerm back on here. But hey,
sure.
Call, True, man. Appreciate it, man.
Yep.
I think Jerm's back. Maybe Jerm, are you back on here? He says he's back on, but he's not. Jerm, are you here or not? Let's get the call. Hey, Jerm, you're gonna have to rejoin or something because I got other callers wanting to get on, and I don't know if you're gonna be on here and it's gonna pop people off or not. So I don't know what's going on your end, but please figure it out. There's Jerm again. Jeremy, you there?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, you still sound really bad, but it's going to have to work. Hey, let me drop the call in. People want to call. Hey, before we do, though, Fit with Fry is absolutely right. You just got to go win. All this stuff, I know we started off on a negative note, but on the offensive side of the ball, but things can change. Hey, if they go out Saturday and win the game, and then they go at home and beat Ole Miss and they're 7-1, but my whole point, Jeremy, when I opened up with tonight was offensively, talent-wise, it's either you're not getting talent at the skill position or you're not developing it, right?
Yeah, and I don't know if you can hear me now, but
It sounds better.
That was pathetic, and I wish I would have been on the whole time because it was ridiculous. First off, trying to understand the point from True Sooner there was like trying to find a penny in a pile of leaves. What the heck?
Hey, we got some callers on the line. Let's get them. Get to Dr. Ball. What's up? Followed by Jim. What's up, Dr. Ball?
How y'all doing tonight?
All right, man.
Pretty good. So y'all got South Carolina this week, right?
Yep.
I just say, like, I know they ain't look good. But Williams-Brice, when they get that sandstorm going,
it's a tough place to play. It's a tough place to play.
We've been upset by them before down there in 2022 when we had that 10-win season. We went down there with Hendon Hooker, and they slapped us around.
You can't overlook South Carolina. Plus, they played pretty well against LSU. So,
yeah, if that offense, what's their quarterback's name?
Lenore Sellers.
He's got talent. So if he gets to clicking, it kind of how Florida did Texas, just be aware. I hope OU is aware of that. Can't take them lightly.
They're aware, but they got to be better offensively to beat South Carolina. I mean, if they turn the ball over this week, they're going to lose again. You can't turn the ball over.
Yeah. I watched some of the film breakdown of Texas OU game. It looked like right there before halftime when y'all got into that trip set.
Yep.
You had some positive, 10-yard rushes when you spread them out and get that linebacker out of the box.
They're going to have to start trying to spread people out, I think.
Yeah, spread people out and get a light box, and that'll help your running game out a lot,
Yeah, I agree with you. Man. Y'all got a big one this week at Bama. Yeah. Should be good. Should be a good game, I think. So
yeah, we just gotta try to keep getting turnovers, and we gotta get off the field on third down.
Yeah, you got
to forcing a lot of long third downs. Getting people to long third downs, and then just playing soft zone coverage and giving up curl routes and stuff for first down. It's crazy.
Yeah. Hey, appreciate it, Dr. Vol. Let's get to Jim and then Fit with Fry. What's up, Jim? How you doing tonight?
Hey, guys. Doing great. Hope the same for you. Just kind of piggybacking on what Dr. Vol said on the turnover front. South Carolina +6 on the year. OU -7. We should be concerned, guys. -7 after playing 3 weak opponents and three good opponents, but some of these aren't flukes. Fumble recoveries you might say are flukes, but or 50-50 balls, but interceptions, those aren't flukes. Those are bad passes, and we got to correct that, or it's gonna go sideways on us. So if you look at look at almost all the top 10 teams, they're plus something in the turnover margin, and that's not a fluke. So
yeah. And hey, Jim, a couple of things on the interceptions, guys, and I don't know if you've noticed this, way more so than any other team that I've watched. It is so exhausting hearing the announcers as OU throws interceptions. Here, you've heard this phrase probably 3 times. I don't know if the receiver is supposed to settle down there or if he just missed them. Like, what's the deal? Are you settling in the zone? Are you running a route? There seems to be some confusion on that.
Absolutely agree, and it's, to me, I would expect that if we were rolling 6 receivers out there, but it's the same three
Same way.
guys every time, right? And so
Yeah.
there should be, at this point in the season, there should be some continuity and some
Correct.
knowledge of where your receivers are going to be. So
Yeah, and Jim, to bring up the turnovers, you brought them up, early in the year, they turned it over too. I think we would all probably agree that even in the Texas game, they had 3 turnovers, but none of them were scored on. Without this defense, OU might be 3-3 right now.
absolutely agree. Absolutely agree.
It very well
But-
could.
But Jay, but a note he just made as well. OU's defense hasn't been creating turnovers, even though they've been so
Yeah,
good.
that's true.
They've been elite. They've dropped interceptions. They've got to make those plays too.
Yeah. Yeah.
You bet.
Hey,
Thanks, guys.
thanks,
Good
Jim.
call.
Appreciate
Good
the
night.
call, man. Thank you. Let's get to fit with Fry, as he says, just win, baby, and everything will get better.
Well, you guys know it's that simple.
It is. I
Right,
agree.
right now we're a 5-1 football team.
Yep.
We've had some tough games. We beat some tough opponents. We had a tough loss. And when it comes to the running game, I think a lot of it has to do with that RPO. I don't like that one bit because it confuses the linemen. The linemen don't know whether to drive or they're going to throw the ball over the lineman's head. He's going to get a legal man downfield. I just wish that they would just line up, stop being funny with it, and say, go beat the guy across from you. Don't try to get too pretty. Go ahead.
I'm with you on that, but at the same time, there's a lot of teams that run RPA aren't good at
But
it.
Jay, he's right. I actually talked to an O-line coach today about this exact point, and he said they're standing up. They can't really commit to explode off because you got bubble screen guys, you've got running backs going to the flat. Everything is either lateral or straight up, not forward, because they can't get out too forward because then they can't throw the ball because they're downfield. So there's too much side to side. Too much. I think what this guy said was too much side to side, not enough north south from the linemen.
It's made for pass blocking. That scheme's made to pass block. It's not made to run. We just got to get back to getting those 320-pound, 6'4", 6'5" guards and tackles and shoving the ball down people's throat. Not trying to be funny with it, saying we're bigger than you, but that's tough to do in the SEC. If you see, a lot of the top SEC teams have trouble running the ball, and it's because these defenses. They just attack. They attack in the run. They say, throw the ball over our head if you have to. You're not running the ball down our throats in this league. It's tough in the SEC to run the ball. Does the SEC have a top 10 running team right now? I don't believe so.
In the country, probably not. But
Missouri.
Oh, yeah, Missouri, but
they couldn't
that
do
went
it
down.
against Alabama, Jay.
That went
They
down
couldn't do it
quite a bit
against
against Alabama.
Yeah,
They
but they're
were-
really good at running. They're the best team in the SEC for sure.
Yeah, but I think a lot of that had to do with the competition they had in the beginning of the season.
You know what else you need? You know what else you need to be a good running team besides? And OU's got the size up front. It's not like they don't have big dudes up front. They do. But the other thing you got to have is you got to be in rhythm.
That's true.
The other day against Texas, OU was getting something before the half. They had a little bit of rhythm, and they stopped. There was no urgency. They've got to find a rhythm about their offense. They haven't found it.
They don't let the running backs get in rhythm. That's a big issue. You bring all in and you let him run one time. Hand the guy the ball 7-8 times. Let him go out there 2 or 3 drives. You got to keep handing the guy the ball. You can't just let one bad play, one drop, you take the guy out. You got to let a guy get in rhythm. When you bring a guy in cold like that, it's tough. It's tough. When you keep if it's Blaylock, let Blaylock get in rhythm. Don't bring in another running back for 4 or 5 series. Let the guy get in rhythm because it's your feet. Your feet are feeling it. If your feet keep getting cold, they keep taking you out of the game. It's hard to find those holes. When you get in rhythm, you can find the holes. And I just think that we got to get back to where we're not standing straight up because the RPO is making us stand straight up. And we got to stay low and dig our feet in the ground and push some guys forward and bulldoze them forward. If we can't do that, then we're not going to last in this league because you got to at least average 100 yards rushing the game because you got to be able to bleed some of that clock. You got to be able to take some of the air out of the ball. And right now we can't do it.
Yeah, I agree. You got to figure something out. I don't know
We
what
got to
they
figure
figure
something
out.
out. We got to figure something out. I don't know what it is, but I don't care if we run the ball or not, if we win, but if we're losing because we're not running a dang ball, then we
Yeah.
got to figure it out. If we're
Yeah.
winning and we're not running the ball, it's not that big of an issue.
And the thing is, Fit, if a team's going to rush 4 guys, you got to be able to run the ball.
You got to run the ball. You got to
If
run
they're
the
only
ball.
going to bring 4 guys, you got to run it.
You got 6 blocking.
Yeah,
6
you got to be able to run the ball in that situation.
And the tight ends. That's one more thing. One last thing. The tight
it's
ends.
not good.
That tight end blocking is so a tight end he's tight to the end. He's not a receiver.
Yeah.
He's a blocker. He's tight to the end. He needs to be able to shove his helmet down a linebacker's throat, and that's not happening at all. He's not being. They can't even chip on the end.
Well,
He chips the end and it doesn't do nothing.
You know what's crazy is the guy you would think would be the best tight end blocker doesn't play. It's 6'8" Will Huggins. He never
Exactly. Get that guy. You got to do something. You got to do something about that tight end position because I don't care about the tight. I would rather my receivers catch the dang ball.
Yeah.
Kennick is a glorified slot receiver. That's all he is. He's not a tight end. I guarantee you he's not. Get him out the game at tight end. If you want to put him at slot receiver because he has chemistry with John Mateer, do that. But the guy can't block a fly. I seen him try to chip Colin Simmons on one of those plays. It was the funniest thing in the history of the world. It actually propelled him forward. He's like, thanks for the push in the back. It's ridiculous. So get some tight ends in there. Shove the ball down people's throats if we can. But if we win and we throw the ball over the field, I don't care. But if we're losing because we can't run the ball, then we need to figure something out. Get DeMar. People keep saying fire DeMarco Murray, but he got a raise because Penn State was trying to give him a job. Penn State was going to give DeMarco Murray a job.
It was actually Ohio State, wasn't it? Ohio State.
Oh, it was Penn State. Penn State was trying to hire him, and he
Maybe
got
it was
a
Ohio
raise
State the year
to
before.
$900,000 a year for that debauchery. It is ridiculous. You guys have a great night, and Boomer
You
Sooner.
too. Boomer Sooner. Hey, Jay, this comment's perfect. I mean, we've said it on here. Trenches win titles. And OU's got him. OU's got the trenches on the defensive side, and it's helped them be in a great position. But it's trenches. It's not trench. It's trenches. The offensive line is an issue.
Hey, I want to do something for the last 5 or 6 minutes of this show because it's been a negative night, and I brought it up and I started it because
I missed a lot of it, Jay.
Well, I mean, you can go back and watch it, but I mean, it's just frustrating because I think this team is so good defensively, Germ, that even with this schedule, they are so good defensively. I think they're going to be in most games. It's just you got to find a way offensively. And listen, in 2 weeks,
you just can't turn it over, Jay.
In 2 weeks, if they're 7-1, somehow, I'll be the most happiest person ever. But Germ, I haven't picked the game yet on Saturday, but I don't know if I'm picking OU on Saturday.
Well, I've told you this before. The recipe for success for OU is it's defense and it's timely plays by John Mateer at quarterback. And what True said earlier is ridiculous about the quarterback. It's ridiculous. Like most of Lincoln Riley guys were quarterbacks. It's ridiculous.
Oh, he had other players, dude. I mean, Lincoln Riley's offense was great at Oklahoma. You can't argue it.
Jay, they weren't his players. Joe Mixon was a Bob Stoops guy.
Lincoln Riley got to OU in, 2015, Germ?
Who recruited Joe Mixon?
I'll probably Kel Gundy, but Germ.
Okay, I mean.
But Germ, he was there in 2015.
And he's mainly known for the quarterback whisperer he is. And the elite play calls.
Hey, Chev, real quick, we'll get to trivia, Dow Post, and then we got corrections. But Chev, listen, nobody's
jumping off the bandwagon. I still got OU a playoff team possible.
Let me out. Stop talking for a second, Germ. You're mumbling over there. Nobody's jumping off the bandwagon by talking about what needs to get better at Oklahoma. I mean, this is a fan channel. You know what we do in here? We talk what needs to get better. You notice how we haven't talked much defense? Because defense has been great all year. But if you want them to make the playoffs, which Chev, I know you have 10-2 as your prediction. I had 9-3 before the year. If you want that to happen, you got to have things get better offensively. Turnovers can't happen. You got to be better in the running game. That's all. That's all it is. We're just talking. We're not like jumping off the band. I haven't fallen out of this chair yet. Let's get to corrections.
Hey guys, how's it going?
What's up?
Man, I tell you what, it's like not only people in the chat here, but it's like some of these other channels too. It's like you would think we were a 1-5 team instead of being 5-1 right now. The amount of hyperbole is just insane. I mean, you got entire channels out there making fun of our fan base because after one loss, they're saying fire BV, fire everybody, and they're like, man, this OU fan base is insane.
Wait, corrections. Are you saying you think that the offensive staff? I'm not including Arbuckle. I think Arbuckle is fine. I'm talking about the other guys on that offensive staff. You don't think there should be some serious talks with those guys?
Yeah, there absolutely should be some changes at the end of the year, but it's nothing we can do about it right now halfway through
I agree
the
with
season.
you. We can't do about anything.
Yeah, and that's a discussion to be had because we don't know what's going to happen the rest of the season too. I mean, even if we do go, let's say even though we go 10-2, there has to be offensive position coach changes. There has to be. It's a 4-year sample size under BV. BV's given them enough rope to. I'm not going to say it, but you know what I mean. He was giving them the rope, and they've just done it to themselves. And so, yeah, there needs to be changes done. But just some of this stuff out there, it's like fans. I mean, they are just losing their ever-loving minds. We played really. When you look at that Texas game, it was one bad half of football. That's it.
I agree. Second half was atrocious.
Yes. And so just the BB is trash, fire him, fire everybody, and it's just absolutely insane. But here's the thing: it was kind of the perfect storm this last week. Mateer, I expected. I was wrong on Mateer, against Texas. I thought because the way he played with the broken thumb, I thought he'd come to this game and still play great after 17 days off. But he just didn't, his head wasn't right. His hand wasn't right. And I really think with him being in full practice this week, he's going to get right back to being the material we all know. And he'll play, he'll get this offense humming along good enough to win a lot of games down the stretch. But, people out there trashing Mateer and stuff because of what, goodness, he had surgery 17 days before the game. The guy is an absolute just gamer and a competitive guy, tough as nails. And I just don't, for one really bad half of football that he played after all that, I think it's insane. So much of our fan base is going and just absolutely going out of the way to trash him.
Well, I haven't heard a whole lot of just trashing him at Mateer. I've heard a lot of
I have.
Bad game, really. But my thing is, I don't think it's as much people losing their minds because of Texas lost. I think it's more losing their minds with the schedule in front of them. If that happens throughout the rest of the year, it's going to be an ugly.
It's not even that, Jay.
I think that's more it.
Hey, guys, correction to Jay. The deal is, this is year 4, and it's some of the similar things. That's where I think the fan base is. So while there is hyperbolic things thrown out there every day, corrections, I agree with the trash stuff, and this guy's got to go immediately. That's hyperbolic. That's hyperbolic. But when you take a step back and you say 4 years against Texas, it's been bad. We've seen BV and company not make adjustments very well in halftime adjustments haven't been good under him. I think that's where a lot of it stems from.
Yeah, and I can understand that. That's completely fair. But I'm talking about because BV has an elite defense now. Yeah. And up till last game, our special teams have been pretty dang elite this year. And so it's just the offensive side of the ball that we had to fix, after last year. And last year we were at the bottom of the barrel. I just looked before I called in. We're ranked number 69. Is it where I want to be? No. I would love to have the first year under Arbuckle to be a top 50 offense. That's what I wanted before this season in year 1 under his system. And I think we can still get there, but to people to expect that we, on year 1, Arbuckle's been in town for 8-9 months, to have a top 20 offense with perfect offensive line play and all this stuff, just unreasonable. And we just have to remind ourselves how bad it was last year. And there's been significant improvement with the offense. Now, a lot still has to go on. Get rid of some position coaches, really hit the transfer portal hard for offensive line skill players and stuff like that. I'm not saying it's by any means, a good, the product that I want to have. But, we just got to give Arbuckle a little time, man.
Yeah, I agree with the Arbuckle. Arbuckle needs time. He's in his first year at the school. You got to give him time.
And he's got to be allowed to go out and get the position coaches he wants if there's going to be a change at the end of the year, like he should.
Exactly. That's the key.
Yeah, let him have his guys, whoever he wants. Drop the bag.
Yeah. Hey, thanks, corrections. Appreciate it.
Have a good one, guys.
Hey, let me get to trivia before we get off here, Germ. Trivia question. Hey, I think we haven't done trivia in a couple nights, Germ. But hey, there it is right there. You see it, Sugar 66. 2 locations, one in Tulsa, one near Catoosa, near the big blue well there. Dessert shop, frozen treats, pineapple whips, freeze-dried candy, all of it. Sugar 66. Go check them out. Trivia question. Here's what I want to know. Last year, OU South Carolina, how many total yards did South Carolina have in that game? They whipped OU 35-9. But
I think OU had more yards.
OU had more yards. You're right. How many did they have, though? OU had 291. I'll give you that. 291. 291 yards for Oklahoma. How many did they have? They had
hour and 6 minutes tonight, man.
Yeah, less than 284. Hey, and also while we're waiting on this answer, you guys, you need to check out the Fan Stop, all right? New shirt every month. You can't beat it. New design, new creative design every single month. Go check them out at thefanstop.com. Make sure you use code SURGE to get 10% off your first 3 months. And looky there, not shocked at all, but the owner of Sugar 66, 918, gets it right. 254 yards. They only had 74 yards rushing on 41 attempts. OU dominated them defensively, but we all know what happened with the 3 turnovers for touchdowns and all that.
Exactly. Real early.
Turnovers, lose you ball games. That can happen this week. Let's get a win, Oklahoma, this week. Hey, Hey, thanks everybody for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it. Really do. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same channel. And and Kyle, I'm going to look at this chat to see what's going on with the usernames. I'll try to get that fixed. I don't know what it is, but I'll try to get it fixed. You have my word to look at it. Okay. Thanks for joining us tonight, guys. We will talk to everybody tomorrow. Have a good one.